Hey guys, it's Cody. Happy Friday. And today I want to talk to you about what I think is maybe the most exciting thing in corn since I've been in agriculture. And today we're standing just south of McCool in our Preceon short corn plot. And as you can see, it is in fact short. So short statured corn, why is it short? Okay, so it's all about nodes. So if you look at this plant that I'm standing in front of, look at these leaf sheaths and look how tight these nodes are together. You know, we're talking like maybe an inch, maybe it gets to 2 inches as you get up to the closer to the ear. Super tight leaf sheaths together drops the plant height significantly. We're talking a foot and a half to 2 feet, in a lot of cases shorter plant than a normal corn plant. So if I was you, I'd be like, okay, that's nice. Why do I care? One reason you should care is access. So right now, when we have a high clearance rig sprayer, V12, V15, and we're out of there because we're getting too tall. With this is already tasseled out, guys, and I'm 6 foot tall. This is probably 6'5". We can get in there with a high clearance rig to do any fertilizer applications, any fungicide applications. Think how important late fungicide has been for us and will be. July and August are completely opened up for high clearance spraying with a product like this. Completely changes the game. I think that's cool, but for us in South Central Nebraska, maybe something a little cooler. So let's go look at what these stalks actually look like. Look how absolutely huge and thick these stalks are, guys. And this is planted at a full irrigated 33,000 rate. I mean, these things are absolutely monstrous. And this contributes to the thing that I think is, for us, even bigger than access. So let's talk about it. So we know that wind is by far one of the top things that we fight in Nebraska. We get storms. It seems like every week somebody's getting hit. We've got green snap, we've got lodging. You think about short statured corn, and the obvious thing that you would think, okay, if I'm a foot and a half, 2 feet shorter, I'm going to catch less wind and that will help me. And that's true. But you look at those stalks that we just saw. So what happens is those stalks, a combination with a shorter plant and a more robust root system, really, when you get going in the wind, stabilizes that product. So if we can have a product here in South Central Nebraska that is a much better product on wind, okay, then we're talking here. So let's go look at something out in the field. In this plot, as you can see, we must have got a kernel of regular corn out here in the short plot. So I'm going to go out there with my shovel here, and we're going to find that individual plant and the plant next to it, and we're going to see what they look like. All right, so here is if I follow this down to, let's look in the ground here. Here is my normal corn plant, and you can see these leaf sheets, how much gap there is between the leaf sheets. Here is what I'm going to do next to it, and we got a little wind last night that whipped things around, but here is a plant next to it that's got these tighter leaf sheets that are much closer together. I'm going to dig these up, and let's go look at them. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm a horrible root digger because I forgot to bring my bucket. We'll focus on what's above ground, right? So I want you to look at, I showed you in the field, but on this short corn, and you can see the difference in the height, maybe a foot and a half probably. So look at the difference here on the short corn. Look how tight those are. leaf, 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 leaf. We're talking maybe an inch and a half between sheaths on some of those. You come over here to the normal corn plant. Here's a leaf. You go all the way up. Here's a leaf, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. A lot of that just adds unnecessary height that we don't need. So when I also talked in the field about the stalk size. You see that difference of the stalk size here versus the stalk size of a normal corn plant. When you get wind, what happens is the wind starts to whip that plant around, and it whips it back and forth until it finally breaks if you have bad enough wind. The thing that this girth helps with is a lot of that whipping doesn't even actually start. So your movement on this, and we've seen this in plots when we get a windy day, your tall corn's waving out there and your short corn is just kind of standing there quivering. And that contributes massively to why this is such a much better product on the wind. So I think, again, short corn for us in southeast Nebraska, south central Nebraska, where wind is one of our major contributors to yield loss. For us, I think this is an absolute game changer and something that each of you should consider planting on your farm at some level next year. So with that, stay tuned. There's more to come on short corn, but just wanted to give you a little bit of a deeper dive on what we're looking at. Have a great weekend.